At this point in his career, Aaron Donald has proven that he'll be a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's been in the league for 8 seasons, and he already has 3 Defensive Player of the Years, 7 first-team All-Pros, and he also has been to 8 Pro Bowls. The question of him making the Hall of Fame is pretty much a foregone conclusion. In this video, however, I want to look specifically at one game, his performance in Super Bowl. In this game, Donald seemed pretty quiet in the first half, and then all of a sudden he went on a rampage and he wrecked the Bengals in the second. Should Donald have won the Super Bowl MVP? We'll answer that question in this video. Before we do that though, if you can do me a huge favor and like and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate it. So anyways, let's start by talking about his first half. In the first half, Donald had a grand total of 1 pressure. The reason for this is pretty simple. The Bengals game plan to nullify the Rams pass rush from making an impact. They knew how talented this defensive line was with Aaron Donald, Von Miller, and Leonard Floyd, and a large percent of their play calls were devoted to making sure they didn't make plays. In the first half, the Bengals called a lot of quick timing concepts. They ran hitches, they ran slants, and they ran other quick breaking routes in order to find holes in the underneath zones of the Rams defense. The quick game, or throws featuring a 1-step drop out of shotgun paired with a 3-step route, was extremely prevalent in this game. The Bengals ran concepts like slant flat, spacing concepts involving hitches, and flat routes to attack the sideline. The goal of these play calls was simply to slow down the Rams pass rush. In this game, Burrow's average time to throw was under 2.4 seconds. Further, 57% of his throws were made in under 2.5 seconds, meaning that a large percent of his throws were closer to 2 flat. Compare that to the Rams on the other side of the field. The average time to throw from Matt Stafford was closer to 2.8 seconds. Only 40% of his throws were under 2.5. If you look at regular season data, Burrow's 2.4 second time to throw would have ranked 3rd quickest in the entire NFL in the season. So what does this mean for Donald? The simple truth is that it's very hard for a pass rusher to win that quickly. Unless there's an immediate bust of protection, no defensive lineman is going to consistently win in that time frame. It's just not reasonable to expect Donald to win there. This dink and dunk approach played a large part of the Bengals' game plan. Zach Taylor knew the Rams' defensive line was an obvious mismatch against his own offensive line, so he called these quick game concepts to stop that. Outside of this game plan, the Rams' defensive line used a bunch of stunts and loops to attack the Bengals' offensive line. Their goal was to create communication issues between the interior offensive line. This would hopefully get somebody free. These worked to an extent, but mostly for the other defensive players. On these plays, Donald took on more double teams than his fellow pass rushers. He was more of a distraction as opposed to benefiting from somebody else's pressure. Speaking of double teams also, Donald did face a number of those in the first half too. The center would shift in his direction, and he would help the guard block an inside move. This context that I just spoke of is extremely important for talking about what happened in the second half. Before we do that though, I want to give a huge shout out to HelloFresh for sponsoring this week's video. HelloFresh is here to make eating better and easier. No grocery stores, no stressful meal planning, just everything to prepare a wholesome, delicious meal all delivered to your door. I honestly have no idea why I've waited so long to try it, but trust me, it was definitely worth it. This week, my wife and I tried the white cheddar Wonder Burgers. They were so incredibly tasty. The produce was fresh and had a ton of flavor, the meat was portioned perfectly for both of us to share, and the recipe was so easy to follow, it made the entire experience effortless. HelloFresh has more 5-star recipes than any other meal kit, and they even offer quick and easy recipes that can be finished in under 20 minutes. Now, not only was everything delicious, but what I love about HelloFresh is how their pre-portioned ingredients help you cut down on prep time and also help you waste less food. HelloFresh cuts down on your food waste by at least 25% compared to grocery shopping. If you go to HelloFresh.com and use my code SAMGOLD16, you can get 16 free meals and 3 surprise gifts. Again, go to HelloFresh.com and use my code SAMGOLD16 to get 16 free meals and 3 surprise gifts. So back to the breakdown, let's talk about the second half. The main thing that changed from the first to the second was the game plan by the Bengals. They started running more deeper drop passes. They started taking more shots down the field. For example, on the opening play of the second half, it went for a touchdown on a deep play action concept. Aaron Donald actually had a pressure on this play. He was the reason why Burrow had to fully step in the pocket and reset his feet before his throw. Now obviously credit to Burrow for doing that, and we need to give a huge credit to the ref for completely missing the face mask by the wide receiver, but the important takeaway was the Bengals tried to adjust their game plan in the second half in order to take bigger shots. Now on the following drive, Donald had his first sack in the game. This happened on 2nd 10 at the start of the 3rd quarter. This play featured Donald chasing Burrow out of bounds with some excellent hustle. While this play is impressive in the sense that he finished the play, his second sack, which happened later on the same drive, is much more typical of an Aaron Donald sack. Let's look at that one closely. The Bengals won the Rams' 11-yard line. It was 3rd and 3. On this one, the Rams had 5 men on the line of scrimmage threatening to rush the quarterback. Donald is in a tilted alignment sitting across the right tackle. With Justin Hollins outside and Ernest Jones by the center, this gave Donald a one-on-one with the right guard. The right guard had no chance on this one. Donald exploded off the line of scrimmage, and he started his bull rush attacking his outside shoulder. This created a half-man attack on the guard. Since the right guard stopped his feet and they were spread too far apart, Donald used his strength to blow him backwards. Donald placed his inside hand on the guard's inside shoulder, then he used his other hand to fight off the block by the guard's outside hand. Donald then finished this play by disengaging from the block, and he was able to take Burrow down to the ground. If Burrow wasn't sacked here, there is a good chance the Bengals would have converted on this third down. Instead of allowing that to happen though, Donald got the sack and he forced the Bengals to kick a field goal in the next play. While there were other pressures that Donald had, the most notable one came on the final drive of the game. On the last play, Donald created this hurry that almost became a sack. After lining up head up with the left tackle, Donald used a club rip move to get inside the B gap between the left tackle and the left guard. His instant swipe to beat the outside punch of the left guard was enough to win. He then got skinny using his inside arm to rip through, and then he was able to grapple the quarterback and secure the win for the Rams. Now from this play, it seems like a lot of people are still talking about how Chase had Ramsey beat up the sideline. If you see at the bottom of your screen, Chase does actually beat him after Ramsey falls down. However, it's too late at this point. Burrow would have needed a clean pocket for at least a full second before seeing this, and Burrow actually made the correct decision to look to his left to start the play. This is a slant flat concept, and against this defense on this down and distance, this is the correct place to look. The Rams simply covered it well, and a throw here likely would have been intercepted. Now, generally speaking, while Donald was incredible as a pass rusher, especially in the second half, he was unfortunately hit or miss as a run defender. For example, Donald has a tendency to jump out of his gap in order to make a tackle for loss. On this mid-zone weak to the right, Donald was supposed to be in the backside B gap, but he jumped into backside C gap instead. Either Donald is wrong or the safety is here. More to the point, this is the gap that Joe Mixon took on this run, and the running back gained 14 yards on this play. Outside of this one though, Donald did make a key 3rd and 1 stop on the final drive. This was a huge play, and it set up that almost sack that I previously broke down. The Bengals ran inside zone at a shotgun, and Donald played this perfectly. He used his length and strength to turn the right guard at the line of scrimmage. He then was able to disengage from the block, and he used his strong hands to make a tackle on the running back. This is a really good play. Overall, Donald had a very good game against the Bengals. While he was a bit hit or miss against the run, he was great against the pass when he could be. So the question is the following. When it comes to voting, did Aaron Donald do enough to earn himself the Super Bowl MVP? While I personally had about $40 on the line for Donald winning in this game, unfortunately, I do think the voters got it right. Cooper Kupp was a crucial part of the Rams offense. Even after OBJ got injured, he still made plays, and he was basically the Rams offense in the second half. On top of that, Aaron Donald wasn't the only elite defender in this game. Von Miller also had a great game. Similar to Donald, Miller also had 2 sacks. They also had almost the same exact pressure rate too. Von Miller finished with an 18% pressure rate, while Donald finished at 17%. Now, none of what I just said takes away from Donald's performance. In fact, it's still really impressive. However, if you're going to be the Super Bowl MVP, you need to be a lot better than your peers. The mere fact that Miller had similar stats and had a similar impact, albeit not on the final drive, is pretty important for this story. Well, that's all I have for you in this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Beginning next week, we'll start looking at the prospects entering the 2022 NFL Draft. Make sure you like and spread the channel and keep a lookout for those. Thanks again. You can support me directly via my Patreon, link below. Also, you can follow me on Twitter at Samuel R. Gold.